As we gently observe our breath, we go deeper and deeper, and discover a little more about our true self. We enjoy being with our beautiful breath, our miraculous breath. Staying with our breath helps us to connect with our true divine self.
Just be with your breath. No thoughts whatsoever. Don't think of past. Don't think of future. Just be in the present with your own breath. We are doing the Anapana Sati technique of meditation. Ana means the in breath, Apana means the out breath, and Sati means to be with our own breath. This is called the Anapana Sati technique of meditation, which is told by Gautama Buddha some 5,000 years back. It is again brought forward towards us by Brahmarshi Subhash Patri. He simplified the technique according to the current situation, and he has told that observation of your own breath is meditation. So let us rejoice, let us enjoy with our own self. Three minutes more, just be with your breath. We have to do meditation with music. We have to do meditation in silence. Whichever way is comfortable, you have to do. Any time is the best time for meditation. In the morning you can do, in the afternoon, in the evening, or in the night. Any time, any comfortable time. Whenever you are ready to do meditation, that point is the perfect time for doing meditation. Please don't do meditation while you are driving the car, while you are eating. Once you complete eating your food, you can do meditation. When you are doing meditation, there is a lot of cosmic energy you are gaining. And this cosmic energy will clear all your blocks.
Recording in progress.
Whatsoever you have in your body. Last 2 more minutes. Just be with your breath. Last 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, masters. Please, both of your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Slowly remove your hands and open your eyes when you are ready. And let us give a big round of applause to our meditation. We had a wonderful meditation. So now I will hand over to Koteshwar Rao.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Srikanth, for this wonderful guided meditation. I thank you one and all who have joined today's class. For the today's class is enlightenment, self-realization, and pearls of wisdom. With humble gratitude to Brahmarshi Subhash Patriji, founder of Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement. Also, humble gratitude to Brahmarshi Dr. Sivanappa sir. I request to take the today's class. Thank you, sir. Please continue.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Koteswarji. Thank you, Mr. Srikanth, for the meditation session,
Thank you, sir.
Yes. My dear masters, all of you, I extend a heartfelt welcome back to this Spiritual Science Education program. Today's topic is enlightenment. My dear friends, enlightenment is the word known to the entire world. Every one of us must have heard it some time or the other. Everyone. But many of us do not take it seriously. Do not attempt to know what is what enlightenment is. They are not serious to go into the details of enlightenment. What is this word? Whether it is related to us, who is to get enlightenment? Why should somebody get enlightened? What is the meaning of enlightenment? And why many people are speaking on that? What is the purpose of that? Am I to gain anything out of it? Is it relevant to my life? These are the things, which everybody will entertain. But we are all, saddled with the physicalities. Materialistic world is not giving you sufficient time to think over that. It will not allow you to study on that. That is called Maya. That is called poor light. Poor light. We don't understand where to go because the path is very dim, we can't see through. Because our eyes have saddled with a lot of visionary modes of, all colorful world is there, and we lose the essence of that. We are only interested in seeing the attractive colors. But we don't actually have an access to the insights. What is the real life? We don't know. We look to the colorful life, not meaningful life. Okay. Meaningful life is necessary for us. Happy life is necessary for us. So this light is not sufficient. Then what we should do? We should bring more light, isn't it? We should bring some other light again. At least something we should do. You cannot be in darkness. Darkness is nothing but absence of light. There is no such thing that darkness as such. Once Albert Einstein has questioned his master, Professor G, can you say where is darkness? Then the professor answered him, darkness is there very much when there is no light. Oh, darkness is there, yes. Light is also there. Darkness is there, both are there, he said, professor, because generally in the physical world, everything, where there is no light, we will always grope in the darkness. We call it as a darkness. And we think that darkness is available. But what is the truth? Truth is that there is no darkness at all. What is available actually? Absence of light. When light is not there, automatically we call it as a dark. There is no darkness as such. We don't have light. That is a big problem. We must have enough light so that we can walk the right path and easy path where there are no obstacles on the road we can have. But there is no light with us. We have light, but it is very dim. We can't identify what is what. The light is not sufficient. Then in such case, what you will do? You will let up more light, isn't it? You will make, in place of 50 watts bulb, you will purchase 100 watts bulb. Yes or no? We have to do that. Otherwise, we have to be in the darkness only. And our steps will go wrong. And our life also will go wrong. And we will be doing all mistakes, So which will definitely put us into miseries. So that is all the background of light. Okay. So this light, as you increase in the house, similarly, our own life also is in darkness. Because there is no much awareness in the form of light. Light is equated to wisdom. We don't have sufficient awareness. We don't have sufficient understanding level of consciousness. We don't have proper understanding of what we are seeing. We are mistaking everything. We think something is there, and actually, in reality, it is not so. We are all thinking that we are the physical bodies. What can we do? The physical body is not going to serve any purpose. It doesn't have any consciousness. It doesn't have any sort of mind. It doesn't have any potentials to run and to walk. Nothing is there. Physical body is good for nothing. It's only covering our inside body. That's it. It is only a cover. Box it is. And gold is inside the box. The necklace is inside the box. It is, the box is only covering the necklace. But we took the box itself is a necklace. See, that is the darkness. And this darkness we have to remove means what? There is nothing to remove. You have to put only bright light. That's all. There is nothing you have to do. It's only you have to understand properly. That higher consciousness, this understanding power, as we increase, we call it as wisdom. We have to go improving upon the wisdom. The more and more you are improving the wisdom, that is, you are improving the capacity of the light in you. You are empowering the light. That means you are giving more force. You are increasing the voltage of the light. Brightness of the light will improve. Based on the watts, you are applying to that. So now you have to put 1000 watts bulb. Then you see how fast it can go, how light it will go on guiding you, and you will be more certain about your steps, and you will be more glad also to do things in the bright light. If it is dark, then you are standstill. You cannot move upon. Then everything will be slower. Everything will go slow in the darkness. That is the reason why the whole world is remembering the word enlightenment. Okay. Many of our forefathers, the wise man, all rishis and all great philosophers across the world, they have been examining the miseries of the humanity. And then they have found out, oh, we have to find out ways and means how people unnecessarily get stuck up in darkness. They should know that there is no darkness, provided you are wise enough. If you are not wise, everything is dark. If you are not wise, if you are wise enough, everything is bright. So the enlightenment is putting more consciousness into our mind, making us a more wiser. That is the thing. Wisdom we should acquire. How to acquire wisdom? Today's class, we will deal with that. My dear masters, I will bring some slides before you, okay? So that you can understand easily. Share. Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement, global, and Spiritual Science Academy. Both are shouldering the responsibility of spreading meditation, which is nothing but 1000 watts bulb. The meditation is the highest glittering, highest enlightening methodology in everybody's life. Meditation and spiritual science. Spiritual science is the light science, and everybody should be aware of that. Everybody should be in the know of the science behind meditation, so that you will commit yourself to the meditation and the meaningful life that it brings about in you. And as you know that there are wonderful pillars for meditation and spiritual science, my dear masters, just in one sentence, I will cover this. And it is always essential for us to keep remembering the beautiful diamonds of the spiritual science. What are those 3 diamonds out there? What are the 3 diamonds? One of them is, first thing is loving every person around you and including yourself. Be a friend of yourself first. Don't curse yourself. Don't blame yourself for any cause, whatever it may be. Whatever happens, forget. Even if you do mistake, don't worry about it. You only try to do something better. That's it. That is the life, in fact. No question of repenting, no question of pachattapa, no question of relenting upon. No, please, no, 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 no. Only forward. And everyone you should treat equally. Whether he is a right person or wrong person, you have nothing to do. Your character is your character. You have to unconditionally love everybody. There is no wrong person here. There is no right person here permanently. A wrong person may become right person always. A right person also is likely to go wrong also sometimes. So don't worry about it. Keep loving everybody. This is the first lesson in the life. If you are with that, you have already crossed a beautiful, meaningful life. You know, you are approaching a meaningful life. And second one is mental ability. That is the light actually. That is the wisdom. Being able to decipher, what is good, what is not good. That's enough. There is a clarity. If you have clarity, you will be with the meaningful life, my dear masters. And then third factor is having capacity to understand yourself, and managing yourself is a very important thing in this world. If you manage yourself, you can manage the entire world. So you have to manage on your own legs, You should not you should not be dependent on others. It does not mean that you should reject everybody. It is not like that. You have to do your own job. That is what it means. You have to help yourself first. Don't ask 1,000 people to help you. No. You should understand that you are sufficient for yourself. You can do anything for you. Then only you will be able to help others. Otherwise, you cannot help yourself. Then what is the help you can give to others? So this is the enlightenment of the life. So first you equip yourself with the light so that you can give the light to others. So these are the three pillars forming whole lot of, not part, is a whole lot of spiritual science. There is no spiritual science superseding this or outside this. So today's lesson is spiritual, the enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Realization of self. People call realization of self, self-realization and all those. So many words you will be hearing. Most of the words in spiritual science, people go on hearing. Self-realization, self-realization, self-realization. Neither they know the meaning of self, nor they know the meaning of realization. Simply they hear and then get away. That's it. As if it is for somebody. We are stuck up there. We are not able to move further. And we are in the darkness always. If you understand that, you will go into light. Because we don't understand, we don't study what is self-realization. What is enlightenment? You have never studied. You have no agenda for you at all to know that. Why? Because people are thinking, what is the benefit of knowing it? No money will come. That's why it will not happen. They do not know what this self-realization offers to them. And what money and what realization, both you put in a balance. Which will weigh greater? Which will have more weight? One side money, one side enlightenment, knowledge, spiritual science. You keep. Which one is greater? Which one is weighing more? It is like a Tulasi Dalam in the legendary book of legendary mythological story, Sri Krishna and Rukmini. There this episode will come where this Tulasi Dalam leaf is kept against the weight of Sri Krishna in a balance. That leaf itself will be outweighing Sri Krishna. No other things will be equivalent to him. In the same way, spiritual science will just ignore the weight of money. Then you will understand which is more stronger, which is more having more weight. That is enlightenment. That is called self-realization. Then everything you will acquire. If you have money, only money is there. Money will acquire only sort of disturbances in your life. This is the essence of spiritual science. What is the meaning of self? Self-energized living force. First, you should know self-realization. Understand? What is the meaning of self? SELF, self-energized loving force. Self-realization, that means self-energized, means Swayam Prakashatva. Swayam means without any agency, external agency. There is no external agency. It itself will shine. It itself will lit itself. It shines for itself. Understand? Self-energized, loving force it is. Always the self, which is soul, which is Atma in Sanskrit. The property of that is loving everyone. Okay? So when you have self, you will be always remembering to love everybody. First of all, you should understand whether you have self or not. That is the beginning of spiritual science. That is the beginning of the Indian wisdom. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the self. The meaning of Aham Brahman is I am the self. If you understand that, the entire life, will be going with the self-knowledge. Oh, wonderful life, Self is I, I is equal to soul. I is equal to Atma. Then what is the definition of self? I have been giving the definition in the earlier classes also. Kindly remember. What is self doing? What is self? Self is soul. What is self is energy. So what is self doing? That is most important. What is their nature? What is the attribute of self? There are two questions. First is, who is self? Which one is self? Which one is called self? Who are you means which one is self? That is called. That is the question. So which one is self? Self is Brahman. Self is the creator. Self is the energy. Okay. Then what is self? Then what is the self doing in bracket? So the work, it is pointing out now which kind of work it is doing, sitting in your personality. It does three kinds of performances sitting in our own heart. Self establishes in the heart region, my dear masters. Understand? Where is self? Where is mind? In the head region. Where is the self? In the heart region. How heart region? So that is clearly set out in Bhagavad Gita, a legendary book from the Indian side. There it is said, Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam hruddeshe tishtati Arjuna. Hruddeshe, that means in the region of heart, it is established. Ishvaraha, that means creator. So what does this self do? Answer is three topics, three items, three great performances. What is that? Satyam, Gnanam, Anantam. That's it, which covers the whole lot of spiritual science again. Satyam, truthfulness, Gnanam, wisdom, Anantam means managing yourself to the unlimited extent. See, your unlimited power. Eternal, Satyam means eternal, wisdom is Gnanam, infinite is Anantam, infinite. Your capacity is infinite, limitless. So this sort of definition you will find in the text Viveka Chudamani, written by Southern Masters in India, namely Adi Shankara Acharya. Okay. Then Rigveda says, Pragnanam Brahma. That means wisdom is itself Brahman. That is Atma. Wisdom is called Atma. Atma is Brahman, creator. Kindly understand that. Aham Shivaha. Aham means I. I is Shiva, Lord. Shiva is creator. Aham Shivaha. Shivoham. That shows soul is Brahman. And then second dictum from Vedas, Atharvana Veda, it says, Veda means knowing. That's it. Atharvana Veda says, I am Atma idam Brahman. This Atma, this soul, what you are calling in English soul, that itself is creator, Brahman. The self is Brahma. You got the point? Enlightenment happens in meditation and jhana. So enlightenment is required so that your grasping power, your understanding power, your visibility, your awareness should get empowered. That means should get much more expanded. Your awareness should get expanded like that. That is called enlightenment. Enlightenment means higher consciousness. That is called higher consciousness. More understanding power is called higher consciousness. Okay, by astral travel, the astral body fetches higher knowledge from the celestial worlds to follow on this earth planet. So when you are in meditation, enlightenment happens. How? In meditation, it is possible that your astral body will get released from the physical body and go into the cosmos and fetch all the knowledges from various solar planets and all those things and various upper worlds, all celestial worlds. It can go round and round and fetch all the knowledges from great eminent personalities of the higher realms. Okay, and you get that knowledge and live that kind of love in this earth planet. Then that person is called enlightened person. So this is the astral travel. The people going into the skies. This is one of the imaginary picture. By going into the cosmos. And that when once you go into the cosmos, then you will be in meditation down below on the earth planet, and you will be going into the, leaving the earth planet, you will go into the cosmos, to the several planets, to the several masters, to the several celestial worlds, upper worlds, divine worlds. Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, Tapoloka, Janaloka, like this, so many lokas are there. That's wonderful science is there. So you have to understand that. So in meditation, you can travel all those things, and you can also visualize that, and you can be in touch with those people and fetch their knowledge and then come back. So you will get the subtle eyes for this purpose. So you will get spiritual eye, the moment you are getting out of your body, you will go into the spiritual eye, so that all these things can be viewed and seen, and then come back to the physical body on the earth planet. Okay, so for this, 1/3 eye will be established in meditation. Through that, the astral body will be going around and around. And that is called third eye. That is called higher awareness. Higher awareness is named as third eye. In Sanskrit, it is called Gnana Netra. So everywhere in meditation, you will be provided Gnana Netra. That means more understanding power inside. My dear master, there are 4 kinds of eyes. One eye is called physical eye, that is Bhautika, that is physical eyes, that it doesn't have any sense, simply it conveys the image, whatever seen, it will be going into your mind. That's it. There is no analysis there. Similarly, you have got mental eye, So the mental eye will only reflect on that and get the past views, anything it has seen. From the past, it cannot see the future. It can't see the present also. That's the past, mental eye, Manasika, Drishti. And the third one is Divya Drishti, that is employed very special occasions by great personalities, only for a moment to see, and then it will not be on permanent affair. Divya Drishti will not be there for everyone for longer durations. This is the eye which Sri Krishna has given to Arjuna, while showing his Virata Rupa in the battle of Kurukshetra. If you are aware of the story of Kurukshetra, is okay. Otherwise, you catch hold of some sort of Bhagavad Gita and you will get onto this. You go on to the story of Bhagavata, you will get that. Mahabharata, you can get it like that. And then this spiritual eye will give you enormous knowledge of the upper worlds by means of third eye. That is special eye. This will understand past, present, and future, all the things. Spiritual eye it is called. That is So this is called Gnana Netra in Sanskrit. That is wisdom eye. This wisdom eye will be established during samadhi. So samadhi is the final stage of the mind in meditation. So the target of meditation is to experience the samadhi state. Samadhi is nothing but fetching all the knowledge. That means it is a wonderful education session. My dear master, kindly be in that education session every day for at least half an hour, 40 minutes. Get educated very well. A wonderful knowledge you will get. We are all trying to get a lot of physical knowledge by means of years together. We are learning years together to become one BA, one degree, any degree. We are studying for more than 12, 13 years or 10 years at least, 10, 12 years at least you will study for one degree. But to understand the life, we are not able to spend at least half an hour a day, That way we have lost 50% of age already. By the time we get to know this, our life is completely, has come to a stand level where it cannot go back. But thing is that in the olden days, this used to be taught in the early age of people, that's why they could grasp everything and they could stand on their own legs, There were no question of any jobs there. Everybody is independent at those times. Now only the creation of job has come. Everybody does his own job. So, my dear masters, this kind of spiritual eye is the product of meditation. And a lot of spiritual knowledge will come. This is the question of third eye, formation in the forehead of the individual. You will be having higher consciousness to understand anything which is not clear. In the state of samadhi, all past karmas will be burned, my dear master. Kindly understand that enlightenment means all the past karmas, whatever you have done, bad or good and everything, will get vanished. They get disappeared. And you need not experience those results also because they are vanishing, because all the past karmas have been over. Now you have become a very beautiful person, a beginning person. Start. How it happens? It happens because like a example is given in Vedas, says like yatha suvarnam patubaka shodhitam. This is a Sanskrit language, my dear master. It's only 1 or 2 sentences I will tell. Like I don't like to bore you with Sanskrit language for more time. Yatha suvarnam patubaka shodhitam. Tyaktva swatma malam. Tyaktva swatma malam. Okay. It will relieve all the impurities. The more and more it is burnt in fire. Swachhatam samruddhim samruchyati. Okay. It will gain a lot of purity. Similarly, in meditation, what happens? Dhyanena, by means of dhyana. Sattva rajo tamo malam tyaktva. Even human also, sattva rajo tamo qualities, all attributes of our human body, they are all will be, they will be withdrawn. He will forego all those things. Sattva, tamo, rajo, gunaha. Along with this, kama, krodha, robha, moha, madamaschariyas. Kama means desire, krodha means anger, mada means arrogance, mascharya means jealousy, kama, krodha, lobha means greediness, kama, krodha, lobha, moha means illusion, mascharya means jealousy. All these 6 evil effects in our life, in our own personality, they will be completely vanishing. They disappear and you will become pure, like gold became pure. This is what is happening and explained in our scriptures. Shastra says, I already told Shastra is like a Brahmastra. Shastra is to follow, okay? It works like a weapon to eliminate your ignorance. This kind of weapon is required. You should know, like the gold gives up its impurities. A human will give away his lot of impurities in him in the shape of Arishad Vargas. That means enemies. What are those enemies? 6 enemies are there. What are those things? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsyaryas. Okay. And one will gain his own pure state of existence and shines everywhere on his own. Yes, that is the meditation power. By continued practice, if one is in the abode of control, a creator or Brahman, he becomes thought-free to experience the divine purity of this. Whoever is in meditation, whoever is having this kind of awareness in the life throughout day in, day out, then that man will be always in meditation. That man, he will be always in the state of Brahmichood, Godhood. He will be always having the status of mind in that stability, in that awareness of Brahman, awareness of Godhood. That is very important. And that is called Atma Sakshatkara. That enlightenment is called in Sanskrit Atma Sakshatkara. My dear masters, this is a Sanskrit term. Kindly understand what is Sanskrit term. Go on into the internet and find out what is the meaning of Atma Sakshatkara. We have to learn all languages. If you want to be happy in this world, and whatever available are here, at least we must get introduced to that. We should learn. So much of truth is there in every language, in every group of people, in every person. A lot of knowledge is there. We cannot underestimate anyone, Baba. Atma Sakshatkara is the Sanskrit word. What is the meaning of that? Enlightenment, it is called in English. Purity, that is cleanliness. Analysis, that means you can understand what is right and wrong. Insight, you can understand more meaning of every word. And higher knowledge you will get. What is higher knowledge? Higher knowledge is loving and having wisdom and managing capacity of yourself. Then rapture, that is called blissful life. Rapture is higher, greater, not rupture, not rapture, it is great happiness and serenity. Then equality with you. Serenity means a beautiful, no conflicting, stable mind. That is called serenity. Blissful state of mind. Samadhi means what? Tranquility with no duality. Very simple definition, my dear friends. Kindly catch it up and convey to everyone. Whoever is in search of that truth, kindly convey it to them. What is Samadhi? What is truthfulness? What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is nothing but having tranquility in the mind with no duality. That means no friction in the mind, no turbulence in the mind, no clash in the mind. If there is no clash in the mind, you are Brahman. No clash in the mind. How it comes? In meditation it comes. Because when more wisdom is there, there is no clash. If there is no wisdom, there is a clash. Kindly understand that. Nahi gnanena sadusham pavitramiha vidyate. There is nothing greater than the wisdom in this world. Then how you acquire that wisdom? That is not the knowledge what you are getting in our degrees, masters. Whatever knowledge we are getting, the degrees is called knowledge only, not wisdom. Knowledge is informative. You only know geography, geology, botany, chemistry. This is not to demean the sciences. These are all very important sciences, which has to be understood in toto. There is no wrong, there is no second opinion about it. But that is not the only science we have to concentrate. There are so many other sciences out there. Spiritual sciences are there. Enlightenment is there. Atma Sakshatkara is there. We will come to know. Otherwise, your life will have no track at all. So, my dear masters, tranquility means no clash. What is tranquility? Tranquility is harmony. There is no clash at all. With no duality. There is no two things there. Only one thing, that's it. Stability is there. Two things are there means imbalances. So there are no two things, only one thing. There is only good, that's it. There is no negativity there. Only one way of thinking, that's all. Only the highest consciousness, that's it. That is purity with creativity. So, my dear masters, in Sanskrit, the meaning we are giving you, we are presenting the exact meaning of Atma Sakshatkara. Kindly carry it to every one person, whoever is in need of that. In Sanskrit, the meaning is like this. Atma means soul. Everybody understands, no? Soul. Sakshi means what? Sakshi means in the witness of. That person, that a man is Sakshi to anything means he is accepting what is happening in his presence. In the witness, in his witness, it is happening. So Atma Sakshat, Kara. What is Kara? Kara means doing. The root of Kara is Karoti. Okay. Namaskaroti. That is Karoti. It is. Namaskara is noun form. Namaskaroti is verb. Okay. Karoti is the verb. Palayati. So these are all the verbs are there. Okay. Kara means Karoti. From Karoti means doing. Now you tell me Atma Sakshatkara. Atma, in the presence of Atma, the work should happen. This is called Atma Sakshatkara. If any one person, one who works in accordance with his own self-wisdom, that means in line with his own self, in the witness of its own self means in acceptance of what self says. If you do the same thing, you are in line with your own Atma Gnana. Atma Gnana. So you are working with your own Atma Gnana. That means you are working with your own wisdom. If you work in the presence of your own Atma, you are called as Atma Sakshatkari. Atma Sakshatkari means one who works in the witness of his own Atma. Person it is. Atma Sakshatkara means noun form. It is working in the witness of one's soul. That is Atma Sakshatkara. Then whoever does Atma Sakshatkara is called Atma Sakshatkari. That is performer, noun form. Is a worker. So, my dear masters, if you listen to your own brains, you are in line with Atma Sakshatkara. That brain should be filled up with Atma Gnana. So, only meditator can do Atma Sakshatkara. Others cannot do Atma Sakshatkara. They can only do only Vastu Sakshatkara. That's it. Because empty mind, if mind is not aligned with soul, without meditation, if he does not do meditation, what happens? His mind will be away, his soul will be away. They are not together. They are not aligned together. If they are aligned together, then the mind will obey the Atma, and everything, whatever mind says, that Atma says mind will do. That is called Atma Sakshatkara. According to Atma, that person is working with his mind. So that person is called Atma Sakshatkari. That person is called enlightened person. Who is enlightened person? Whoever listens to his mind, which is aligned with soul. How? In meditation. So, my dear masters, meditation is the key point for wisdom and is the key point for Atma Sakshatkara. Without meditation, you will not be able to listen to your own brains. You can only listen to your mind. Mind is always fickle-minded. Mind is not aligned to the Atma, is good for nothing. It will have dualities. It will bring all sorts of clashes. It will all sorts of tensions. It will have no solutions for anything. Only problem giving is the work of mind. The mind will always give you a lot of tensions. That's it. It doesn't have solutions. The solution lies when it is linked to the soul. Then Atma Nirdesha will come. Atma Gnana will come to him. Very simple, my dear master. That's how, every philosopher comes and tells you, do meditation, Baba. Be in meditation, be in meditation. Your sorrows will go away because you will have enlightenment. You will have light in your mind so that you can see through what is right. This is all what we have to understand. What is enlightenment? It is nothing except listening to your own soul. Soul listening to mind is called intuition. Your mind should listen to your soul means that you are going with your intuition. Intuition means tuition from inside. What is inside? Inside is soul. Spirit knowledge, that is self-knowledge, is called Atma Gnana. Self-knowledge, knowledge from self. The mind should receive the knowledge from self and then act. This is what is called enlightenment. And this is what is known as Atma Sakshatkara in Sanskrit. And this is what is called in English self-realization or realization of self. How? In meditation, you can realize the self. What is realization of self? Realization of self-knowledge. It is not self, it's self-knowledge. Okay, my dear masters. One who works with Atma Gnana is called Atma Gnani or Atma Sakshatkari. One becomes aware of his attributes in their own true nature. Yes. When once he is in meditation, he will understand this. And what is the perils of wisdom? They will be accruing to you automatically. You will acquire all the wisdom as given here. Man is superior to all the species because of his wisdom. Now he will understand that I must be wise enough because I am the superior species in this planet. And then the wisdom has got 8 wings, 8 petals of a flower. Number 1 is ahimsa. The moment you are enlightened, you will be going with ahimsa, non-violence. Okay, I will not take any ill will against anybody. I will not hate anybody. This is non-violence. Ahimsa, himsa rahita. No himsa on anybody, including yourself. Huh? You should not apply violence on you also. Number 2 is kindness. So kindness is superior to your perfectness, your intelligence, your all these things. You know, you say, I am very perfect. What is perfectness without kindness with you? Perfectness is preferable. Always one should be perfect. Along with that, he should be more kind enough also. Then only your perfectness will have 100% benefit. Number 3 is control of senses. So you have to control your own senses by wisdom. That is, Atma Gnana will control your senses 100%. And forgiveness, you will be accustomed to. You will be tuned to forgiveness. Everything you will forget. You will excuse. Forgiveness is not forgetfulness, but excuse everybody. There is only great species, great personality on this earth planet is Jesus Christ, who has forgiven the people who have nailed him, nailed his hands, So how much of treacherous pain, he would have undergone. One imagine, such a person also, he excused. That is called excuse. So we should be always excusing everybody. And then peace. We should always learn to be peaceful. So there is no question of any kind of turbulence in the mind always, Where is the question of turbulence, When you are with wisdom, you will be like an ocean. Ocean, there is no turbulence at all. You understand? So a peaceful, oceanic patience, that is called peace. Then 6th one is renunciation. Then you will not have any kind of this arrogance, desire, this and that. All the 6 enemies in you have been completely vacated. And you will always be interested to give whatever you have to others. That's it. And 7th one is dhyanam. So always you'll be in the meditative state like Shiva. My dear masters, there are so many masters who are known for meditation. In those, Lord Shiva in India, is a very great deity. And he is associated with meditation. Always he is in a meditation posture. And then last but not least is Satyam, always truthfulness. And the person who acquired spiritual wisdom or self-realization will always speak the truth. So these are the 8 qualities, that reflect the wisdom of human being. Kindly be with these things, you will be the wise person, wisest of all. Enlightenment dissolves abnormalcy. All abnormalcy will get away. Person should not be like this. All these sort of things will go away from the life the moment you go into meditation. He wipes out violence in him. He will not be violent at all. Not even mind, manasa, vacha, karmana, not even in the thinking level, he will be very free without any violence. And even at speaking level, he will not shout at anybody. And not even a hurting word, it will come from his mouth. Very sweet words he will speak. And then karmana, and his actions are very, very kindful actions, He will not be tough and rough with anybody, physically also. And abnormalcy is in the way of thinking like this, wrong thinking. What are those things? Underestimating somebody, disliking, fear, worrying, inferiority complex, superiority complex, wrong opinions, comparing, copying, low confidence, poor confidence, all of these things we are suffering from actually. These things should not be there in you. With all these things in your thinking, how can your mind be calm and quiet, That is not possible. 100 lifetimes also, you will not be able to be free with empty mind. These things are all not necessary for your life. They are unnecessary for us. Okay, we should avoid all this wrong thinking. And abnormalcy and wrong communication. While speaking also, we are always shouting, scolding, insulting, ill-treating, abusing, complaining, speaking about others, wrong things, very rough and tough words we are using against others, hurting others. All these things will get away. These are all useless things in our life. We can live without all these things, but simply we are acquiring all these things. Some people will say, I don't want life without abusing anything. Yeah, I'm not able to abuse, then why should I live? No, to that extent, people have gone because they do not know what is the truth in this life. Okay. So wrong communication, we should be careful enough. And then wrong deed, physically also, people also, physically quarreling in fighting, quarreling, hitting, hurting, damaging, cheating, reacting, revenging, punishing, etc., is there. Are these things are necessary in the life? Why should you fight with others? Why should you hit others or hurting and all those things? Why we should do that? Is it necessary for us? Not necessary, but still we are indulging in that. So all these sort of abnormalities will get away with one stroke of meditation. Okay. And kindly understand, robbing of peace of others is violence. Robbing of peace, suppose if you are in your own house, mothers, parents, all family members will be shouting at their own kids, juniors will be always abused, juniors will be shouted upon, juniors will be they will be punished for anything, everything, a small thing, they will beat. Not to be done. Is it necessary? You have a speaking faculty, you can speak to them and advise them. The hands are not to beat others, hands are to give some food to others, some help others, And you are beating. It's a misusing of your hands. My dear master, kindly understand, it is inculcating violence in the house. You are only creating violence, then he will create violence in the market also. So we should be very careful, while handling in our own house. If anybody, suppose a child is playing and you are hurting him by way of something, some mistake, and then he will lose his happiness, then you are only robbing the happiness of the child. But you are telling that he has done some mistakes. So now, who has not done mistake? You tell me in the world. Is there any person is there who does not do mistakes? Mistake is not a crime, my dear masters. Kindly understand that. What is the mistake? Misplaced taking it is. Misunderstanding, misplacing. Are they crimes? Mistaking, why are you so serious about it? Anybody can do mistake because to err is human. Mistake happens. Without mistakes, nothing is going to happen here. Sarvarambhahi sadeshena. That is what. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi natyajet. Sri Krishna advises Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra, Sahajam, it is natural for any war to go with some sort of mistake. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham, that means there is some error in that. It is okay. Why? Because sarvarambhahi, all work will start with only mistakes. Sarvarambahi sadoshena, dhumena agnidivavrataha. Like, every fire, if you want it, it will come along with smoke. After some time, smoke will disappear and you will get pure fire. It is like that. So mistakes, you should tolerate mistake. One mistake is okay. Repetition should not be there. Kindly understand the spiritual science. If you ignore this, you are doing karma and you are doing criminal actions because you are hurting others and it will come back to you. And you are thinking, why this problem to me? Because you are not aware of what you are doing. These are all the things are hidden in spiritual sense. Because we have no knowledge of that, then we are suffering like this. Practices for wisdom is only Anapanasati meditation, my dear masters. Wisdom, if you want, you have to do Anapanasati meditation. There are so many varieties of meditations, everything is okay for you. But simplest, easiest, and very convenient to do is Anapanasati, because it is inhaling and exhaling. That's it. What are the gains you will look for from meditation is liberation from sorrow. The moment you are doing in meditation beautifully, regularly, and make your mind tuned to that sort of calmness, definitely you will be exempted from sorrow, liberated from sorrow. While living itself, all miseries will not be miseries. There may be miseries, but your handling will differ. You will not bother about misery. You are very happy if some solution, if some problem is there. Oh, I can find out the solution for that for the first time. It will go like that. Creativity makes you happy. The wisdom makes you happy. Ignorance makes you unhappy. And one more benefit from self-realization or meditation is liberation from reincarnation. And there is no, again, necessity for you to come back to the world to understand this science. That's why you should understand this science very quickly. In the olden days, all children used to be given only this science in the beginning because they should not miss, otherwise they will have to come back. Unfortunately, we have lost it. Even we don't have at the end also, in the beginning also, nowhere it is found now. So as soon as early as possible, we should try to induct this kind of science in our academics also. Okay, that is a different arena. We'll discuss later. Now, Mahan Vyakti, an achiever, he becomes. Anyhow, every meditator will become a sweet person. And he will become an achiever of everything. He is the friend of the globe. He is sufficient for himself. He will never ask anything, anyone, everywhere, anywhere at all, except for universal welfare. For others, he will beg and borrow. But for himself, he will never ask anybody, anything, anytime, anywhere. He never ask anybody. He never be dependent on anyone. He is like a king. King has got everything at his. But at the same time, for the people, he will beg others. He will make so many efforts to keep his people happy. In that way, you should also beg, borrow everything for others, not for yourself. Wisdom is shareable since it is nobody's. Don't be fearful to anyone. And this is the ultimate wisdom. Be fearless. If you are having any fear psychosis, gone. All your enlightenment will be closed. The center point of enlightenment is that losing fear psychosis in you. This is ultimate wisdom, my dear master. Be fearless. If you have fear, you cannot achieve anything. Don't be fearful for anyone. Don't look like a lion to others. And at the same time, nobody should be afraid of you. And you should not be afraid of anyone. You understand? So this is the ultimate wisdom. You don't forget about this. Be fearless. What after all happens? What is that after all happens? Everything we have no death. First of all, you understand that. We have no death. Okay, after all, what is there? We die. What happens? Everybody is dying. There is nobody who does not die. What happens? Nothing is going to happen in this world for us if we are without fear psychosis. And everything will become handy for you. And finally, enlightenment is My dear masters, kindly see this. After everything is studied, though, the definition of enlightenment is the end of suffering. If you are enlightened, then there is no question of any sort of suffering to occurring to you. No suffering will be there for you at all. You need not suffer anything. Suffering is to the mind, my dear masters. Pains to the body. Suffering, when I refer suffering, it is to the mind. Mind will not suffer because mind is made strong. Any number of strong in meditation. Now the definition is like this. Right from the time you get up in the morning until you go to the bed in the night, any time during all this period in between, if you are disturbed in your mind for any reason whatsoever, you understand you are yet to be enlightened. When once you have a clash in your mind, you understand that you are not enlightened. When once you are feeling something bad in your mind, then you are not enlightened. Something, if you are feeling problematic, no, then you are not enlightened. There is no problem for you, then only you are enlightened. There may be any kind of violence or any kind of thing outside, but you should not be worried over that. You should have no fear psychosis over that. Understand? That is the enlightenment. If you are not disturbed, you can say you are already enlightened. So now you have to judge yourself. Then how much fear psychosis you are suffering from. Just be conscious that all that can be lost during the course of meditation. So there is one weapon. Meditation is Brahmastra is there. For all ignorance will go away. All fear psychosis will go away. All kinds of, ruptures, violence, all sorts of worries, all problems, all will get up. Sarva dukkha will go away. Enlightenment is our birthright. Because we are spirits, we are souls. We are only to be enlightened. Who else will be enlightened? It is our birthright. We are losing here, that's it. But any other species in other realms, either a species in the water or in the sky or on anywhere here and there, underground or whatever it is, they don't get enlightened. Only man is capable of getting enlightenment because it is our birthright. Let us see this. This is a small video. Let us see this. Okay. This is 9:30, 5 minutes.
Once upon a time, Buddha was visiting a village. A man came up to him and asked him, "Every day you say that everyone can become enlightened. Then why doesn't everyone become enlightened?" "My friend," Buddha replied, "do one thing. In the evening, make a list of all the people in the village and write down their desires next to their names." The man did as Buddha told him. He went into the village and he asked everyone. It was a small village with only a few people, and they gave him their answers. He returned in the evening and gave the list to Buddha. Buddha asked, "So tell me, how many of these people seek enlightenment?" The man was surprised because not a single person had written that he wanted to be enlightened. And Buddha said, "I say that every man is capable of enlightenment, but I do not think that every man wants to be enlightened." And so the man understood. He understood that every man is capable of enlightenment, but that is very different from every man wanting to be enlightened. He understood that if you want something, then consider it to be possible. He understood that if your quest is for truth, then there is no power on earth that can stop you. But he also understood if you don't long for truth, then too, there is no power which can give it to you. You see, in life, they say, be careful what you wish for it may come true. If you really want something, if your thirst for knowledge, if your thirst for something else, if your thirst is a real one, then rest assured that a path is available, that it is possible by all the powers in the universe, and that nothing can stop you. But also, you have to choose the right path. For there is no right or wrong, but the path that you really want in your life. Your thirst will be your path to truth. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.
Okay. Okay, nice of the masters. This is all today for you. Okay, about the enlightenment. Then we have to choose whether and when to get enlightenment. It is our choice. If you want that, you will get it. If you are not desirous of that, nobody can give you. It is only yourself that can give you enlightenment, no other person. Procedure is explainable, that we can find out and do it. So, my dear masters, a great personality like Buddha got enlightened then with the assistance of Anapanasati meditation. So, the PSSA requests every one of us, all the viewers, to take the lesson of Anapanasati meditation and be gainful by enlightenment. So, thank you, masters. Now I am handing over to our Koteshwarji.
Much. Today's class is very informative, very valuable, and PowerPoint presentations, all the quotations are so nice. And we have to, today's class, we have to watch again and again to get most of the, most of the things benefit from that one. Thank you very much. So now I request to share our group members if they have any questions or any feedback, if they want to know something else. We will continue another 10 minutes. They can mute and unmute themselves and they can speak.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, Shalini.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much for today's enlightening session. My question is, sir, if soul is one, if that is one, that we mean, then why do souls are different when they take human body? Like each soul has their own agenda. They don't become one. The soul doesn't become one. All the souls after death.
Oh, that is the question.
Yes.
Madam, soul is not having any different agenda. It is only one always. It is the mind that has got different ways.
Okay.
Mind is thinking differently from person to person, not the soul. If you connect with the soul, then the mind will stop its work and soul will start giving you the knowledge. And then whatever soul says will be same with everybody if everybody is aligned to soul. Everybody's mind should be aligned to soul. Then only everybody will be working with same knowledge. Because soul does not differ in knowledges. Soul always gives you truthfulness, wisdom, and infinite good. Because the mind does not go to the soul for knowledge. Nobody wants to do meditation. Nobody wants to get enlightenment. Enlightenment means what? Attaching your mind with the soul, so that mind should not think two ways. If it is aligned with the soul, it will think only the way what soul says, that's it. That is intuition. He will go by intuition. Intuition means creativity. There is no clash. Creativity means newness. There is no two new things will not be there. Only one new thing will be there. So there is no duality. There is no clash. And all meditators will think similarly if they are aligned to the soul. That is the purpose our forefathers have invented. They wanted to give the gift of meditation so as whatever you have told, they have already gauged, they have already estimated the people are different in their thinking. Why? Because mind is like that. Mind is bundle of thoughts, of various thoughts. So we have to make the mind unique, make the mind stable, not to think two things. It should be tied up with the soul. So that soul will dictate only the truthfulness, wisdom, and infinitehood. That much. Then he will do only that. Then he will become Brahmagnani. That's it. Brahma is soul, Atmagnani. So you should have self-knowledge, not the materialistic knowledge. That is the purpose of meditation. They have invented meditation only for that purpose. Whatever you are having doubt, they had that day that doubt. Why people differ so many ways? Because the mind is the culprit. Mind is not aligned to the soul. That's why soul is only giving energy and sits. If soul is asked for, it will give you advice. If you are in meditation, it will give intuition. Otherwise, the mind will only take the knowledge from the visuals. It sees the prakriti. It sees the nature. Yes.
So does the mind belong to the body?
I think you have not attended the class of number of bodies. We have already discussed about it.
Okay.
We have three kinds of bodies again for you, for your
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, that I.
And then how did you say mind belonging to body?
Because
Physical
the
body.
mind is not listening to the soul, right? Mind is listening only to.
You are not doing meditation. What can it do?
Okay.
What can it do? If you do meditation, it will get aligned to
The
soul.
Soul. Okay.
Soul. Then you
Right.
don't want to go inside. You want to go outside only. Always.
Right.
Always go to TV. That's it. Not inner TV.
Hmm.
External only we see. Then mind is only with that. It will never go inside. If it goes inside, it will be caught up by the soul.
Got it, sir. Got it.
You got the point?
Got the point. So
That is the meditation. That is the meditation.
Okay, sir. So,
Yeah.
sir, then what is the difference between my soul and some enlightened they are different, then, sir. So
Well,
my soul is different from probably a yogi's soul, like a Paramahamsa Yogananda. His soul is different from my soul, right?
who said like that?
Because
How did you think?
uh,
How did you think? How you said like that? Any book is there like that? Then no imagination. The first lesson in the life is you should not imagine things. If you have any idea, you find out the foundation for that. You should know what is the truth. Then only we should speak that. Soul is always there, only one. The universal, everything is contained only in soul. How can it be different with this Paramahamsa is having different soul? And here, Koteswara has got a different soul. And Sahitya, Shalini has got different soul like that. Who said like that? There's only one soul is there. We are all united. Sarvantramai pashyati. Everybody sees same soul, everybody. You understand?
okay.
So only one soul is there. All souls are in the hearts of everybody. If they are aligning their mind to the soul, then the same soul will give the same knowledge. If the other person also aligning his mind with the soul, the same knowledge it will be, he will also get it. That's it.
But then the soul keeps coming back to earth to get enlightened. So till he gets enlightened, he is not till the soul is not enlightened, it keeps coming back, right?
Soul is not question of
Oh.
enlightenment. Soul is always
Okay.
enlightened. Soul is always enlightened.
Okay.
Only the mind should be purified. That's it.
Okay.
If the mind is purified, that is called enlightenment. Mind only will see the light. Okay. Through mind, the awareness will come. Okay. Soul is only a subconsciousness. It is. That means it is substitute conscious. Another kind of light it is. That light will not interfere directly. That light will go through the mind. Understand? So the mind has got preliminary and primary awareness. Light is there. Okay. So through this light, he will have to see it. So that is called awareness. Mind is there like that. Mind as always is loaded with the physical aspects in that light. Physical aspects has called Maya, ignorance has come. So it is not able to see through in the light. It is covered with ignorance. It says that the mind is belonging to the body. But truth is different. When you connect your mind with the soul, then you will understand, oh, my mind is not with the physical body, Baba. My mind is different. It is with astral body. It is astral body. It is Sushma Sarira, not Bhautika Sarira. Then you will understand the difference with astral body and what is physical body.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all the subtleties. Kindly go through that.
Okay.
You'll have to spend some time, allot some time of your a sort of valuable life, The other day I was speaking, I don't know when and where, but say to gain a degree of BA or MA or whatever it is, they are working for 14 years for that. And to study the life and to live a life for 100 years life, you are not able to fetch even half an hour to know things. How can you study the 100 years life, just in workshops, just in discourses? It is like that. It's a very funny thing. How can you gain that? It is only advisory capacities we are doing. We are only helping. You say, Baba, look here, because it is not there in the school. It is not in the academics. So we are at loss. We don't know when things will happen in a proper way. We all together should work that every student should know in the beginning itself. Okay, this is the present scenario is there. Anyway, we don't talk on the politics, this and that. That's a different arena for us. We are not supposed to speak on that. But as a spiritual masters, we are always sad about the current affairs going on in our country or anywhere also. Anywhere. Violence is going on. Wrongdoing is going on. So many lives are slaughtered, They are killing the elements for food. So much is going on. So we are all, as a spiritual people only, we can only point out, but much more has to be done. I think we have to keep agenda like this. We have to keep the flag of non-violence. Somebody, somewhere, something, will happen, but we should keep the flag erect always. That is what you and I are supposed to do. Okay. That's what we are doing. So very nice of you, madam.
Thank you,
Shalini ji,
sir.
very
Thank
good
you, sir.
question. Yes, yes. Other masters, I want everyone to speak, Lot of things
Nanaji,
will
you
come
want to
out.
speak?
Yes, lot of things will come out.
నానాజీ గారు మాట్లాడండి.
Yes.
Namaste, sir. Excellent class
Namaste.
today. I missed
see.
one of your classes
I see.
due to some busy schedule. Excellent class, sir.
No, you have the videos now with you. You can always go through.
Yeah, I will go through, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, only one question I have. During the presentation, you said, don't expect anything from others. Like one small thing always keeps on coming to me. For example, you love somebody, okay? Expecting love from other, is it a correct thing, or we should not even expect that also?
You should say no. You are enlightened man. You are loving for some purpose or what?
Oh, unconditionally, we're not.
That's
any
all.
condition.
Then why are you necessarily entertaining so many doubts on that? Say, loving is your character. If you are thinking that it is right, you are doing it. Yes or no? You have to be a loving personality always. And you are supposed to love everybody as per the humanity. Okay. And that's the basic quality of every wise person.
Yes, sir.
And you are loving. Then what more you want? You are expecting that person should again give back love to you. Then that is a business. You're because you want some love, you are loving now. Otherwise, you will not love at all.
Correct.
Isn't it?
But yeah, but what my basic thing is that, for example, you keeps on loving a person,
Yes.
but in return means in somehow he manipulates that, okay, something, maybe this guy wants something from me, that's why he's loving me. Some people means it keeps on like that. See, means something wrong with me.
That shows that you want to control his mind or what?
Correct.
What do you want actually? You want to control his mind,
No,
or you want to have authority on him?
no, we cannot.
Then why are you bothering about? Let him do whatever he wants. What is there? Let him think whatever he wants. It is his prerogative to think for himself
Yes.
and do anything. If he does bad, he will get bad. You have no share in that.
Yes, sir. True, sir. True.
Everybody is bound by his own karma, Then why are you unnecessarily thinking of others, and you are losing your time on that? And don't invest any time on others unless he seeks your help personally. Loving is your character. He is not asking you to love.
And one more question I want to ask you, sir.
Yes, sir.
For example, if somebody, some people comes for help, okay,
Yes,
financial help, something.
sure.
For example, one sick person is there. We financially we support them, and he comes out of that karma, whatever, for example, some operation, you will help somebody. Is it a correct thing? Because are you not interfering in that their karma?
You are not interfering. He is only asking and interfering with you, You are keeping quiet. He came and asked you some help, isn't it?
Yes, yes, sir.
So when he asks, you are doing, it is your duty. It is your responsibility. What is the karma it is? It is a good karma you are doing, that's it. And if you expect something from him, then
No.
that will get attached to you.
No,
you'll
no
have to-
expectation in that. Yeah.
No expect. Don't ask again back anything. And don't think that he did not salute you, or he did not smile at you,
Oh, no,
or
no.
you did not respect you, and all those things. You first forget about it.
Yes.
Help is unconditional. You forget about him. Whatever it is, he is a good person or bad person. It is nothing. You are no way concerned about his personality.
If he gets cured and he will be happy, that's enough for us.
It is for him, not for you.
Yes.
Your job is you are asked to give, you have given. That's enough. Not more than that. You have not done any favor to him. No. You are doing your responsibility. You are working for you.
Yes.
You have done a good thing for yourself, not for his sake. Your responsibility, you are completing. Your job, you are doing 100% fully. That's enough for you.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will be short of in your own karma.
Correct.
So that
Thank
way you have to analyze the work, not seeing others, Don't see others at all. Do and forget. Do and give and forget. Enough. It is for them to do anything. If they respect you, you are not supposed to reject. It is
Yeah.
left to them. If they are respecting, thank you very much. If they don't respect, thank you very much. Because it is not my responsibility, It is their responsibility to be respectful to me or not.
Thank you, sir. Very clear.
Yes. Always it is like that, master. Be free. Don't think of others unnecessarily. Unnecessarily, don't think. Be free in your mind. That's it. You are ready to help everybody. That's it. And you should help yourself. Don't forget about helping yourself and go on helping others and spoil your time. And for you, nobody comes to your help. That's a different issue. It is his choice, no? It is not your choice. You may or may not get help. So always try to help yourself. Okay. It is not selfishness. It is a bounden duty to yourself, Atma. Atma Sakshatkarani you are doing. Whatever Atma says, you should do it first. Then only you are a realized soul. Otherwise, you are cheating your own soul. You are not doing justification to your own soul. You are different and your soul is different. Kindly understand that. You are the astral body, mind. You have to follow the soul, which is in your heart. Soul is greater than the mind. You should obey the soul. Understand? So these are the subtle things, So we have to respect your own wisdom. That is most important. Always be happy when you have something good. You have done something good, you should be happy about it. Because you have followed your soul, self-knowledge you have taken and benefited out of that. Okay. So advise everybody to have their own knowledge, not your knowledge. Their self-knowledge. Everybody should become Atma Sakshatkarani. Their Atma Sakshatkaris. Not your Atma Sakshatkaris. You are to listen to your own self. He has to listen to his own self. Both are same, but minds are different now. So they should go like that. So that is called Samadhi. Sama means same mind, similar mind. Okay. Sama Adi means mind, Manas. Sama Adi, an equivalent mind, that equanimous mind. Equanimous, that means no duality at all. So everybody's mind, will be no dualities will be there with them. If they are aligned to my soul, no duality. So whatever you think, that will be the thought of others also. That's why people say pure thought already passes to the other person, if they are pure. Same. Like that. Okay, masters. I'm very happy that you are very sincere in approach. That is what we want. Isn't it?
Yeah, Shalini, you want to speak? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for giving me one more chance to ask. Sir, if I am planning to go to a juvenile correction center to help the kids there, so what should be my mindset? I mean, they are going to serve some time in that center. So what should be the goal for them? Like, how will it benefit them if they, any idea, any guidance I can get?
No, you are going to serve the disabled people or orphans or orphanage you are going, you know.
No, sir, it is a prison for children, like a
Okay,
prison facility for children.
Okay, for children, child criminals.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so you are going to to nurture them, you know. You give some good advice to them. That's it. What is that you are supposed to do there? You are given some plan of action, no, by the people who are engaging you.
Yeah.
Or you're, yeah, they have given certain guidelines for you. You follow that enough.
So if I have to, is it, can I introduce meditation to them?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Spiritual science is the common science. The common universal science is the spiritual science. You understand? So common science, everybody has to receive this knowledge. Meditation is the first thing you have to make them sit and learn. Okay. First meditation, so that they will understand themselves. And you give the spiritual science classes, how to think big. Think big. Small children, unknowingly they have done something wrong. They landed there. Now they have to understand, you know, so something wrong is being done by me now. So hereafter we should desist from that. And how I should mold my life and how I enter into the better kind of life. These are the things, you know, values of life you should give. And how can they better their careers by some professional examinations, or so many things are there now for that. So you can teach them and make them think for themselves. Don't impose your knowledge, your ideas on them. That is wrong.
Okay.
You ask them to become what they want to do. And if they go wrong way, then you try to correct it, give advice that is not correct, this may be correct, like that.
Okay.
If they agree, they will do it.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice thing. Okay, my dear masters, whoever are there, anybody is interested to have some questions on this? Where is that? Okay, it's all right, fine. So now, Koteshwaraji, it is your turn now.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for today's session. Once again, thanks for all the members who have joined for today's session. I request to join same time tomorrow also. We have the session. And with this, we conclude our meeting, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, okay. So nice of you. So with permission from all of you, okay. Now I end the meeting, okay?
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nice of you. Okay.
Yeah, so Kodeshwara, అది రికార్డింగ్ ఆఫ్ చేస్తా. Yeah.
It is with me. I will start.